Hello guys, welcome to this video. So we're going to continue with the ICT paper 3-1 February-March 2024. So for this video, I'm going to look at the spreadsheet aspect. Okay, so let's begin. You are going to create a spreadsheet to calculate the cost for Serengeti balloon safaris of collecting guests from their lodge or camp and take them to the place where the balloon will launch. The company uses a number of fixed launch sites. The site will change each day depending on the wind direction. So all currency values must be in Tanzanian shillings with 2 decimal places and a symbol of TZS. Okay, for example, this. Okay, all right, let's continue. Number 10, open and examine the file m24 distance.csv. So we're going to open that m24, which is this. Okay, so you want to make sure everything shows perfectly. Yep. Okay. This file will be used in step 12 and 13. Do not make any changes to this file. Open and examine the file and m24 calc.csv. So you want to open this also, m24 calcs. Are you open? Okay, so this is it here. You want to actually let me just make sure everything shows perfectly. Yes. Okay, so save the file m24 calc.csv as a spreadsheet with the file name calculate. Let me just copy that. Calculate followed by underscore followed by your center number underscore candidate number, for example this. Okay, so let's go ahead to do that. So I'm going to go there and then go to save as, browse from my location. I hope okay, good. I think I'll save it in my work area. Okay, so you want to make sure that you save it in workbook format, which is Excel format. So the name will be this, calculate underscore ng156 underscore 0004. Okay, so you can save that. All right, so that's for that. So format the spreadsheet so that it looks like this. Okay, so of course make sure cells A1 to C1 are merged and have an 18-point black font on a light black background. Okay, so let's go ahead to do that first of all before we forget. So I'm going to make it 18-point here. So I'll merge from here to here, which is A1 to C1. Sorry, let me just merge them. Okay, they're center already, center. Okay, and then have a background of a light, something like light blue, right? Good. So our job is to make the our work to look like what we have there. So I'm going to have the now my heading is selected. So let me just have all borders right there, and then here have all borders. Let me just be sure for what I'm doing. Have all borders here. So I think let me just move this a little further here, like this. Move this one out a bit, something like this. Okay, so let me be sure. Okay, so here and here are supposed to have border around them, and then let me see, here to here should have border, and then this should have also border, and then I believe, let me see, here should have a border. Okay, let's see. Okay, so another thing is here should be center aligned. So let me just center align them, and then I think here everything here should be right aligned. Let me be sure. Yes, right aligned. Okay, so under I think the rest, everything is okay with the rest. Oh, let me be sure. I think I saw something. Okay, yeah, so which means around here everything here should have border around them. So let me just have outside border, something like this. Okay, so I think that's fine for this. So that's number 10. So we got ourselves 5 marks. So number 11, enter your name, center number, and candidate number right aligned in the header. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is simply you go down to the right here, layout, being layout from layout view, and then have your name here. Kechukwu Anolefo is my name, comma NG156 will be my center number, and then 0004 will be my candidate number. Once you're done, click inside and then still go back to normal view from down here. All right, so that's for 11. So let me just start selecting so I don't get confused now. Okay, so number 12, place a formula in cell B6. So let's go to B6 here, right? To look up the name of the lodge, or camp using the camp code, using the camp code and the external file M24 distance or CSV for array. Okay, so these are what we're going to need, right? So we're going to use using the camp code. Okay, so the camp code will be our value. So we're going to use here. Remember that we inspected this, so which means that we want to get the using the camp code, we want to get the camp name. That's actually what the question is trying to tell us from this other file, right? So you want to use VLOOKUP here. So camp name, so equals VLOOKUP, because our data is actually arranged in vertical form. So we're using VLOOKUP. Okay, so select that. So our lookup value will be the camp code, because the question says that we should use the camp code, right? The camp code, comma, so which is B4, and then table array is going to be from here. So I'm going to select here. So don't select the heading, just the data itself. Okay, good. So I'm going to have comma here, and then column index, I'm looking for the camp name. So it will be in this. It is in the second column from the range that we selected, and then of course I like exact match, so I'm going to click that and then close this and then enter. So this will return Mara Engai camp. Okay, so it means that wherever the camp code is 17 and then the launch site is E, we're going to wherever. Okay, I think this particular one is actually wherever it's going to return the camp name wherever camp code is 17. So if you go to the file, external file, and then go to 17, the 17 should be this one, and then the camp code will the camp name will always be Mara Engai camp, okay, which is 17. So if I happen to change it to, let's say 9, so I'm supposed to see Syrian Mara, okay, as the camp name. Okay, so let me just change it to 9 and then see what happens. Okay, so I will change the camp code to 9, and then I suppose the camp name will change to Syrian Mara, so which means we are correct. Okay, so let me just change back that. All right, so let's move on. So number 13 done. So number 12 done. So we're going to number 13. So it says place a formula in cell B7. So let's look for B7. Okay, we're reading B7. All right, to look up the distance in miles from the lodge or camp using the launch site. So we're going to use the launch site as our lookup value here also, using the launch site and the external file M24 distance.csv. So okay, all right, so here it becomes a bit tricky, I suppose. So so we're going to return the the distance in miles, right? We're going to return, so to look up the distance in miles, okay, from the lodge or camp using the launch site. Okay, so we're going to use the launch site to do this. So you want to use here, so if you had inspected this work very well, so you see that wherever the the launch site is E here, Okay, and then the camp code is 17. So let me just highlight this. Is 17 here. Where's 17 here? We're going to have, this is too bright, we're going to have something. Let me use this. So we're going to have 27.8. So wherever it is E, where the launch site is E, we're going to have, and then the camp code is 17. We're going to have 27.8. So let me do it probably the way you would have thought, which is wrong. So let's do it that way. So by virtue of the question, we're going to use lookup because the data is arranged in a horizontal format. So we're comparing this A with the values down here. Okay. So let's do something that probably most students we are doing before we'll now correct it. So let's have lookup, which is very correct. Lookup. So in this case, we're going to use lookup. Now our lookup value will be the launch site, okay, which is the letters, the launch site, just like from the question. And then our table array now is going to be from here, from up here, from the A here, because we're going to compare these letters with the values here, right? So this should be your table array. Now where it gets tricky is because we want to get from E to 27.8, which coincides with the camp code 17, which is 27.8. If you count from E to the 27 to row 20, you will see that it is 19. Okay, so the row index is going to be 19, which I'm going to show you just in a short while. So we want to return exact value and close that, and then that gives you 27.8, right? So this answer looks correct, but actually it's not. So the reason why we have the index, the row index to be 19 is when you count from E here, from where the letters are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So the row that we're going to get to from this first row will be 19 to be able to get to where it matches the 17, right? So but where the problem is if you change the launch site now to, let's say, A, we're supposed to have a different distance. Let's say if I change this to, let's say, 3, the distance does not change, but the camp name actually changes, which the camp name, this what's it called, the lookup function is very, very correct. And then we change this to, let's say B, you notice that this does not change, but it has to change. So we have to make the formula to change at every given time. So what you want to do to arrest that situation, so let me just take back to E and 17 so that we don't waste much time. So what you can do here is making, whenever the camp code is actually, whatever is in the camp code, you add 2 to it. Why are you adding 2? Why you're adding 2 is because the row here, before it gets to where the value is, you have to count 1 and 2 rows before you now start getting to where the value is. Okay, so what we want to do to correct this is actually to get to that place. So instead of having 19 as our index value, what you want to have is this. You want to have the camp code right there plus 2. Okay, the camp code plus 2. That's what you want to do, so that you're able to jump 2 rows and then get to where the column is. Okay, so this should be the right. So this is the correct value. So that when you change, let me say if I change this to A and change this to something like 9, change the what's it called camp code to 9, something like that, I expect changes from both the distance and the what's it called, the distance and the camp name. And if you check where the launch site is A, so, and then of course the camp code is 7. So if you go there, the launch site is A here, and then it is what's the word again? Oh, sorry. And it's 7, and the camp code is 7. Okay, so if you go to 7 here, which is here, row 10, 7 here, you see that it is 11.7, which is what we have here. So if you go ahead to probably experiment, you see that this formula is the correct one. Okay, so that's for that. So that's for number 13. So number 14 says place a formula in cell B8. In cell B8, so let's go to cell B8 here. Okay, we're already there. To calculate the time in minutes taken for the journey from the lodge or camp to the launch site where the vehicle travels at what? At 20 miles per hour. Okay. So sorry. So the 20 miles per hour will represent our speed. Okay. The distance from the camp is already given in the Excel sheet. Okay, so so let's see what we can do here. So the formula that we're going to use here will be the distance here will be what's it called? Distance from the camp to launch site should be, what's this, B1? That should be B something. So this should be B7. So the formula we're going to use here will be B7. B7 multiplied by, so I like to have brackets, I like to have control in my head. So B7 multiplied by 60, even the Excel can do everything by itself, but I like to control it with the bracket. Okay, divide by, so this time around divide by 20. So this is the formula that we're going to use to be able to get the time. Okay, so the 20 will be the 20 miles per hour. Okay, so we want to take this, copy this out. So I will go to my Excel, to my work, and then equals here, and then I'll paste that right there. Okay, so that should give me my my time in minutes, right? Good. So let me just close that. Okay, I think I'm good with that, so I can enter. So I have 35.1. Okay, so let me take this back to the original. Okay, so this is what I get. Okay, all right, so that's for that. Let me just so the next one will be the number 15, I suppose. Number 15. So place a formula in cell B10 to calculate the cost for this journey, right? The cost for this journey. So cost is equals driving time rounded to the nearest hour. Okay, driving time is rounded to the nearest hour. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do here is the driving time rounded to the nearest hour. So let me just do it on our sheet here. So driving time should be somewhere, let's see. So driving time should be B8, if I'm not mistaken. That's B8. So we're going to have B8. B8. That should be the formula. Driving time rounded to the nearest hour. Okay, so driving time. So the nearest hour. Remember that the driving time is in minutes there. Okay, in minutes. So we're going to convert it to hour by dividing it by 60 to convert that time to hours, right? Let me shift this a little downwards. Okay, so driving time rounded to the nearest hour. So for us to round it, you want to have equals there. You want to round. I'm putting the bracket in the beginning because I will still have other formula in there, right? So open bracket, and then you want to have comma here and then 0. So this will take it to the nearest hour. Okay, and then okay, so let me just put this in there so that we don't get confused. So what we're going to do here, so if I put in that formula here, so it's going to take everything in here, it will divide it, it's going to divide it by 60 and then reduce it to the nearest hour. So that's what it's going to do. So if you do okay, sorry, let me just remove the, first of all, let me remove the bracket in there, bracket in here, and then enter. So it's supposed to be 1. So when you divide 83.4 by 60, that should almost be 1. So, and it rounds it to the nearest hour. So that should be 1 hour, something like that. Okay, so the next thing I want to add will be multiplied by 2,200 shillings. Okay, so this has to be multiplied by 2,200 shillings. So let me do that. 2,200 shillings plus, where's plus? Okay, plus, let me see, the distance in miles. Okay, so what's the distance in miles? So distance in miles will be this, which is B7. Distance in miles plus the distance in miles multiplied by 800. Okay, multiplied by 800. Multiply by 800. So this should be able to, so if I want, I can control this. I want to make sure that it does this particular one. It doesn't really matter, but I like to use bracket a lot to just make sure I get the expected value. Okay, so you can enter this. So that should give you 24,440. Okay, so that should be the cost, right? Good. All right. So I think number 13, we're done with number 13 here. Okay, so number 16, apply appropriate formatting to cell B10. Okay, so let's go ahead to apply appropriate formatting. So you want to get there, you want to go to, so you want to make sure you select the B10, the cell, and then you go to number group here, expand it. Then going to currency. Remember that it's supposed to be in the Tanzanian currency. So you want to write T to look for Tanzania. Where is Tanzania here? TZS. Is it anywhere in here? TZS. Yes, that's it right there. So in 2 decimal places, yes. So we okay that, and that should give us that. Okay. Save your spreadsheet. Okay, so let me just save. Let me just do as they said. So I'm going to save this. And then the next thing will be print your spreadsheet showing formulae. Make sure that the printout is in landscape orientation. So let's print in, let's just make sure that it shows in formula. So we want to go to formulas. You want to go to show formulas. Okay. So and this is what we'll have. So I'll select everything, just shape everything to make sure everything is in within, everything is showing very well. So you want to go to file, you want to go to print, right? So let's be sure of how we're going to print it. The printout is in landscape orientation. So you want to make sure here that it's in landscape, right? The row and column headings are displayed. So row and column headings are displayed. Page setup, you want to go to sheet. You want to make sure that row and column headings are selected here. Okay, that's fine. The content of all cells are fully visible. Yes. Okay. So we can go ahead to print. So I'm going to print to PDF actually. Print in here. Work. So I'm going to save it in my work area, just directly inside my work area. Okay. So I'll call it a printout. What is this? Step. This is step what? Let me see. Step 16 printout 1. Step 16 printout 1, something like this. So you can save that. Okay, so your work will be there whenever. And the next one is print the spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure that printout fits on a single page. Okay, so let's first of all, let's switch it to values. So I'm going to go back and remove formula and then select everything. Double click just to make sure everything shows properly. Okay, so printout fits on a single page wide. Content of all cells are fully visible. All right, so you found out that they didn't indicate whether it should be on a portrait or landscape. So I think you have the freedom to print in portrait or landscape, but in this case I probably will print in landscape. So I'm going to go to print. So if you print in landscape, there's no problem. Okay, so probably I will leave it in landscape. Print fits on a single page, right? Content of all cells are fully visible. Okay, so we can actually leave the headings too, right? So very, very important. So we can go ahead, print to PDF, print that to PDF. So I can call this print step 17, print out 2, something like that, print out 2. Okay, so you okay that, so that should be fine. All right, so I think that's the end of it here. So guys, thank you so much for holding up, and then thank you so much for subscribing and watching my videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.